by thanking those who have made me who I am and helped start a foundation for my life. Mom and Dad, you are always driving me around to my different activities. You have so much going on, yet you always seem to have time to support me at my competitions or to help me train for them. And I can't thank you enough for everything you do. Tinsley, we have so much in common. We enjoy the same activities from camping to skiing, and although we may fight every so often, we have some of the best times together. The Petrus's are a family that my family is very close with. Ella was my first friend, and we have been friends longer than I can remember. And we always go camping and rafting together and have the best time. I have met many of my best friends here at my mom's school. Mason, we have not always been the best of friends, but now we are inseparable, and I'm very glad you are going to the same school as me next time. Wyatt, when you came to our school, you immediately fit in and became one of my best friends. Finn, you always have a great new story or joke to cheer me up. Tom, you have very bold opinions and arguments on everything from football to politics. Will Shearer, whether you are telling a joke that is accidentally funny or falling in the lake while ice fishing, you're always making someone laugh. I'll miss you all and wish you the best. My grandpa and I spend so much time together fishing, hunting, or doing projects in the park. We fish at least 2 days a week in the summer and always hunt together in the fall at his ranch on Lynx Pass. Thanks for everything, Grandpa. When I first came to Lowell Whiteman Primary School 9 years ago, the head of the school was Nancy. She was my first teacher. Sometimes, if you are in trouble, she was the scariest person ever. But she was the best teacher I ever had, and I've learned so much from her. My ski group is like my second family. Gunnar, Nicholas, Annika, Eric, and I have been in the same group as long as we've been young. We're like siblings. Some days we'll get in the biggest arguments and fights, then the next day we'll all be best friends. There's often tension in our group because we're so competitive, but we'll always be friends. I have also had the same coach. Garrett has taught me how to jump from the bump jump to the big jump. I'll miss you so much as a coach. Now I will tell 3 stories that have helped build a foundation for my life. One time when I was about 8 years old, my family went to Alaska. We were there for about 2 months doing a lot of different things. For one part of our trip, we were staying at a remote cabin across the bay from a town. There are no roads to that town. My dad and I were in the middle of the bay fishing in our pack raft. Our pack raft is about 4 feet long and super light, so it fits in your backpack. We were out there for a long time, trying to catch a salmon. My dad said that without a big lure, we would never catch one. I was beginning to lose hope when all of a sudden, my rod got in really hard, and I almost dropped it. The salmon was fighting super hard and starting to pull the boat. I handed the rod to my dad because I was barely able to hold on. Then, the salmon started to pull us around the bay very fast. We were losing tons of line and getting pulled around the bay much quicker than we could paddle. Eventually, my dad said that we have to cut the line, but I insisted that we have to get this fish, no matter what it takes. After at least a half hour of fighting, the fish started to get tired. We were gaining line on it little by little, until we got it to the boat. We then realized we did not have a big enough net to get it in the boat. We decided we would put the net over its body, and we could grab it by the gills and pull it into the boat. When we got in the boat, I was so excited. We paddled the shore, and I ran up to the cabin, so excited to show off my huge fish to my mom and sister that I forgot to wear my shoes. I was running through the thorns and pine needles in bare feet. The silver salmon was almost as big as the boat we were in, and it was a whole lot heavier. When we were cleaning the fish, we were throwing the guts into the ocean and to the seagulls. There were about 40 seagulls to start, but then a bald eagle came. At first there was one, then they started showing up all over. Each time an eagle came, about 10 seagulls would leave. It was such an awesome experience with 6 bald eagles flying around me and the biggest fish I've ever caught. This is what inspired and motivated me to love fishing. It was the first time I had fun fishing, and it is still one of my favorite things to do. As many of you know, I am a ski jumper. I have ski jumped as long as I can remember, and I train almost every day after school. Ski jumping is what I enjoy doing more than anything. This winter, I was doing very well and decided I was ready to jump the big hill. I asked my coach, and he said the next day the jump was in good condition, I could jump it. Soon enough, that day came. We were all very excited. There were 5 of us that were going to jump it for the first time that day. Once we were got to the top, it was so scary, but exciting also. I went last in the group. On my first jump, there was so much air pressure that I got turned a little sideways and almost crashed. I got to jump 5 more times that day. It was the most fun day of jumping I ever had. In almost every jump, I set a new personal record. At the end of the day, I ended with a far jump of 114 meters. Ski jumping has taught me discipline. It has also helped me have something to look forward to every day. I raised pigs for 4-H. 4 years ago was my first time raising pigs. We went to look at them in early April and picked out our pigs. I had never interacted much with baby pigs before. When we got there, I saw the pigs and immediately knew which I wanted. The pigs were very small, only about the size of a kitten. When we went back to pick up our pigs, about a month later, I named my pig Grizzly. He was about 50 pounds. We loaded the pigs into dog crates and put them in the back of the car. When we were trying to get them out of the car, into the stall, we were all chasing pigs all around the barn. Once we finally got them into the stall, they let us pet them and get to know them. I had my pig for 4 months, and he gained an average of 2 pounds per day. At fair, he was 275 pounds. I have loved raising pigs ever since, and 4-H has become a huge part of my life. I have learned so many important life skills from 4-H. My education is my foundation. I have been at Emerald Mountain School for 9 years. This school has helped me make a foundation for my future. I have been taught so many skills, and I believe without this school, I would not be as successful. This school has taught me how to enjoy school and how to love to learn. Cindy, you have taught me that even though math is very frustrating sometimes, it's so interesting, it's worth it. Dave, you have taught me discipline and helped me learn how to stay focused. And I have learned that not all history is so boring. Beth, you have helped make science class interesting by always being funny and letting us do super science. Kara, you have taught me that there are no mistakes in art, and I love how I can just talk with my friends in your class as long as we're doing art. Luann, you have taught me to know when it is time to stay focused or when it's okay to make a joke. You have also taught me how to write exceptional speeches like this. Jeff, you have been a great new addition to the school, and I'm excited to continue learning Spanish. Sharon, you do a great job running the school. And although I may not have been super excited when I found out we had a new head of school, I'm very glad you came to the school. I will miss having such wonderful teachers that I know so well. And I hope my future teachers are as caring and passionate as all of you are. I may not have mentioned all of you in this speech, but I would like to thank Everett for being here for me. This school has formed many roads for me to follow, and now it is my choice to choose.